You're listening to the ESO Network, your station for all things geek.
Hello, and welcome to episode 206 of the Rusted Robot Podcast for Sunday, July 15th, 2018.
My name is Optimus Prime.
Hello, I am C-3PO Human Cyborg Relations.
I am Locutus, a Borg. Resistance is futile.
You're like a machine underneath, right? But sort of alive outside?
I'm a cybernetic organism, living tissue over a metal endoskeleton.
You're not quite, human, are you?
No, sir. I'm an android.
These aren't the droids we're looking for.
Counterfeit, facsimile, replica.
We need some sort of robot. Ah, crap! I'm some sort of robot.
What are your prime directives?
Serve the public trust, protect the innocent, uphold the law.
By your command.
I'm here with my good buddy Josh.
Hello!
I'm Sean, and together we are the hosts of the Rusted Robot Podcast. How are you today, sir?
Not bad, considering you woke me up.
I did.
So, got to sleep in today.
I came over here to do our regular Saturday morning recording. Today's July 14th. Happy Con Air Day, Josh.
Happy Con Air Day.
You don't get the reference?
Oh, I get the reference. It's not something I celebrate.
Oh, every year I try to watch Con Air on July 14th. Because, as everybody knows, that's the day it takes place. I'm going to see my daddy for the first time ever on July 14th. That's my bad impression of John Malkovich doing the daughter.
My daddy is coming home on July 14th. My birthday is July 14th. I'm going to see my daddy for the first time ever on July 14th.
Anyway, I'm done. It's over.
I was going to say, that was really bad.
I don't do accents. I've tried. I fail horribly every time. But I have to acknowledge that it's Happy Con Air Day.
All right.
So that's it. That's out of the way now. Hey, you know what I saw last weekend?
What did you see last weekend?
Well, I took my little guy. Well, he's not so little anymore. He's almost as tall as me. We went and saw Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Yeah? And?
And it was decent. I liked it. Is it as good as the first one? It might be. They're pretty on par with each other.
Okay.
No spoilers, but it is connected to the events of Infinity War.
Okay.
Well, at the very end. That's what happens. So,
okay.
So not really a
So
spoiler.
it takes place simultaneously.
Kind of, yeah. Pretty much at the same time. And then I was telling Bishop all about how you have to wait till the very, very end of the credits, after everything, to see the stinger. And he's like, oh, really? I didn't know that. I'm like, yeah. So we waited, and it was more disappointing than the Captain America cameo at the end of Spider-Man Homecoming.
Really?
It was not worth waiting for. I don't recommend sitting through 10 minutes of credits for what we saw. Doesn't connect to any other films. It's just kind of, here, you waited for this for all this time, here's something. I think Marvel is losing it on the end credit sequence.
Or maybe that's what they want you to think.
It could be that. It could be because they don't want to give any spoilers away for next year's crop of movies.
Yeah, because next year's a whole reset cycle of what's happening.
Exactly.
There's not much that they can say, oh, here's the hint.
Yeah.
No, they don't want to give that away.
No, they don't. But it was fun. Good action pieces, good humor. Michael Pena does the whole storytelling thing where everybody else talks in his voice. So they did that sequence again.
Okay.
So that was fun. Yeah, it was just, I don't want to give any spoilers, but it was good.
All right.
A lot of fun.
Excellent.
Yeah, so I recommend it. I would give it 7.5 out of 10 rivets.
Yeah?
Maybe even an 8. It's a good, solid, fun movie with not much consequence, but worth seeing.
All right.
Oh, have you seen anything in the theater lately?
I have not seen anything in the theater lately.
Are you still working on your downstairs bedroom drywalling stuff?
Yes and no. We're at the sand and plaster phase.
Ooh, that's the worst part.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and we're not pushing hard on it, because if we were pushing hard on it, it'd be done in a week.
Well, sure.
But we don't want to spend 10 hours each night working on it and being exhausted for the next day for work.
No, because you work all day.
Exactly.
Both of you.
Really, my arms are tired by the end of the day. I do a lot of sanding at work anyways.
So then you get to come home and do it here.
Yeah.
Right. Right. Who are you doing this sanding job with in your basement?
Katie, my wife.
Oh, your wife, Katie.
Yeah.
Where is she right now?
Oh, she's at work right now.
And where is this place that she works at?
The 1-1 Mall. It's a little store in there. It's called Jump City.
Jump City. Jump City. Timmins, Ontario, Canada.
The Comic and Collectible Shop.
That's it.
Ah, right. I always forget that she works there and owns the store with her sister.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So she's at Jump City. That's cool. Too bad she can't be here for the podcast. Speaking of Katie's, this week, you and I, and Katie, your wife, sat down and recorded your top 10 favorite genre movies of all time.
Yes.
So that will be, what would you call it? An emergency broadcast podcast? For when we don't have a weekend to record together, we'll just throw in...
Yeah, filler content.
Yeah, so we're going to do that for my favorites, for Katie's favorites, maybe for Shane's favorites. We'll find somebody else maybe, and then every once in a while, when we can't get together, that'll be the episode so that our listeners have content.
Yeah, exactly. Don't leave you high and dry.
That's right. And speaking of Katie's, actually this week, a different Katie. Remember your good friend Dan?
I remember Dan.
Well, his girlfriend Katie and I sat together and we recorded an episode for the Soul Forge podcast.
Why did you put air quotes?
I don't know. Nobody can see that, so I don't know why I did that.
Particularly because only I can see it. It's like you're air quoting your own podcast, man. That's weird.
I was emphasizing it, I guess.
That's not emphasizing. That's when you throw air quotes around things, you're making it sarcastic.
Yeah, it's not sarcastic though. It's just my other podcast.
Yeah, I know, but you threw air quotes around it.
I don't know why I did that. I'm not sure. Because I live my life as if I'm in a movie and there's an invisible audience watching me all the time.
Yeah, but it's the wrong hand gesture.
I know. I couldn't think of anything else to do. But anyway, the point is that Katie and I sat together and we recorded episode 57 of the Soul Forge podcast, all about unrealistic beauty standards.
Okay.
And that's available now, and it's been out for a few days. So,
all right.
I've gotten lots of good feedback on it, and people are liking it. So
cool.
SoulForgePodcast.com.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. All right.
Hey, it's Sean here breaking into the recording. Yesterday when we were doing the podcast, totally forgot to mention that last week's emailer, the Lazy Stoner, has actually recorded and released his first episode of his podcast. He mentioned us, shouted us out, talked us up, which is definitely appreciated. So I wanted to take this opportunity and tell you guys all about thelazystoner.com. Go ahead and give him a listen. His first episode's about 20 minutes and just talking about the general line of his show and what he's going to be doing. So once again, Lazy Stoner, thanks for being awesome. Good luck with your show, and I'm sure we'll talk soon.
So anyway, lots of interesting news and excitement in the world of movies and genre. I have good news for you.
Okay.
I did not come across any celebrity deaths this week. I know that's your favorite segment.
Yeah, it's my favorite segment.
Okay, maybe it's not.
No.
But even so, maybe somebody did pass, but I have no acknowledgement of this, so that's good. Maybe nobody did. Maybe nobody big and famous was lost to us. But I do have all kinds of fun casting news. Did you hear that Billy D. Williams is going to reprise his role as Lando Calrissian in Star Wars Episode 9?
I had not heard that. That's cool. I like Billy D. Williams.
Mm-hmm.
But,
You don't care?
Not so much.
No?
No.
Oh. Why?
I'm not excited.
You're not excited.
Meh.
Really? Okay. I wonder if they'll do a flashback with Donald Glover as the young Lando, and then him doing some kind of storytelling, or if they'll just, kind of just tack it on there. I don't know what they'll do.
Probably not.
Maybe they want to connect the young Han Solo story movie to Episode 9. I don't know what they'll do.
They'll want to forget the young Han Solo movie.
They might want to.
If things continue the way they are, we're just going to see him get killed off. They're going to explain how Leia died.
Yeah, actually what the article says here, it's unclear how prominently the character will be featured, though the absence of Carrie Fisher and the deaths of characters Han Solo and Luke Skywalker could result in the role being substantial.
Yeah.
Because they need him, actually, because who else is left from the original trilogy, right? Not too many. You got the droids.
Yeah. But, so, it was a mistake killing off Luke And they can't fix that. Well,
They could do some kind of. It's not really. He wasn't actually dead. That was him on the rock as a force projection as well, and maybe it was somewhere else. They could do some timey-wimey, wibbly-wobbly stuff. It's hard to say. Should be exciting anyway. And reports of Billy D. Williams' involvement began earlier this year when a convention at which the actor was appearing shared with its followers. They shared his intense new health regimen, similar to the one Fisher underwent before returning to the saga. And last week, a convention noted that Williams had to cancel his appearance in September due to shooting a film, potentially coinciding with Episode 9 shooting schedule. So, who knows how big the role is, but he's getting back in shape to be the man, and it's potentially exciting. Although you don't seem to care.
No.
And that's okay.
If you are loving this podcast, you should tell a friend about it.
Spread the word about podcasts you think they would enjoy. There's something for everyone, from entertainment and lifestyle
to news and politics
and more. Share it on social media.
Believe it or not, some people don't know how great podcasts are,
or even how to find and listen to them.
You can help change that with a click. Tell your friends about your favorite podcast.
Thanks for spreading the word.
I've got other casting news for you. Do you watch The Walking Dead?
I used to. I haven't watched it in a while, simply because I don't have cable anymore.
Right.
So to watch it, I'd have to deliberately go out there and find it.
Okay, that's fair enough. But you have seen it.
I have.
You're familiar with the character of Michonne?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Well, I've got a report that the Walking Dead actress, and I'm not sure how you say her name, I think it's Danai Gurira, is under consideration for a role in Star Trek 4. I know how much you are excited about the Kelvin-verse movies. But anyway, the article goes on to say that activity on Star Trek IV project continues to heat up with a new report, and casting is already underway. Walking Dead and Black Panther actress Danai Gurira has been tapped as a lead in the next MonsterVerse film, Godzilla vs. Kong, so that's already a thing. That's pretty cool. But the article says that she's circling the next Star Trek film at Paramount, the one that brought on S.J. Clarkson to become the first woman to helm a film in the vaunted Trek series. However, no details on the role are provided. But the Godzilla vs. Kong film is currently in pre-production, set to be released May 22nd, 2020. And although Paramount's yet to release the date for Star Trek 4, Chris Hemsworth is set to return as George Kirk. And if Michonne here ends up signing on for Star Trek 4, she'd be following in the footsteps of The Walking Dead co-star Sonequa Martin Green, who beamed over from the zombie series to be on Star Trek Discovery, which is another show that you are in love with.
Of the two, if I had to choose to watch one set or the other,
yeah,
I'll watch the movies.
Because they're shorter?
Yeah, because it's only like 6 episodes, rather than watching all 13 for Discovery. Also, at least the story has a reason for being all messed up.
Yeah.
Because the timeline's changed, and it's not the same universe.
True.
And everything's all messed up because of it. That makes sense. So, alright. I can accept that the universe has gotten darker and stupider. The Discovery is supposed to be part of the same universe. And therefore, it shouldn't be darker and stupider. Because that's not what Star Trek is.
Season 2 should prove to be most interesting.
Yep, they're just going to go darker and stupider.
I think they're not going to. I think they're going to turn it around. Because they went too dark, and a lot of people didn't like it, such as yourself. But we'll see. It should come out early 2019, apparently. Although no official release date's been announced. But what do you think about Godzilla vs. Kong? Did you like the Godzilla movie on the Kong Sky Island?
So I liked the Godzilla movie, because it was fun. I didn't really like the Kong Skull Island.
See, I loved it, but a lot of people don't, and I don't know why. I don't know why people don't like it. It was fun. It was silly.
Because they're trying to recreate a movie made in the 30s.
Yeah.
Right.
And they placed it in the 70s.
No, but they were trying to recreate a movie in the 30s.
Oh, I'm not talking about the...
No. But they're taking something from the 30s.
Yes, okay.
And they're trying to go like, hey, we got to keep all the same beats so everybody recognizes King Kong. We're just going to change this and change that. And it's hard to do that and make anybody care.
Yeah.
Because, like, when you do a recreation and change everything around, but you try to keep the core of the thing, try choosing something that people actually like.
Instead of manufacturing something.
Because, like, King Kong was popular in its day.
Yeah. And they've come up with more films throughout the decades.
Yeah, but they all try to do the same thing. They all try to... They're all nostalgia films for the original, which is almost 100 years old.
I think 1933 is when it came out.
Yeah.
If I remember right.
So we're in, what, 80-something years?
Yeah.
So, yeah. It's almost a century old.
Right.
You know how many people watched that when it first went to theaters?
No.
Not many of them are left alive.
Probably not very many.
Yeah.
Maybe some people went when they were a little kid.
Yeah, and you know how many people went to that, watched it in theaters, are big fans, and still go to the theaters now and follow the current movie trends?
Oh, probably zero.
Yeah, we're looking at a guy.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're making a movie for a guy.
Well, what do you think about them trying to create this shared monster universe? That's the thing. Everybody's doing this shared universe now.
This is not new. This is like the fourth Godzilla versus King Kong movie. So, like, yeah, whatever. But if, like, they made Kong bigger because on Skull Island, because he wouldn't have stand a chance against Godzilla.
Right, and I think he was like an adolescent in that movie, and it took place in the 70s, and now it's 40 years later, so he'll be even bigger, so that he can take on Godzilla, probably.
And and you look at the look at the originals. Godzilla's 100 feet tall.
Yeah.
King Kong is 30 feet tall.
Yeah.
Godzilla's got fire breath.
True.
King Kong likes girls.
King Kong likes girls. Yes, he does.
That is the fight.
Yeah, although he took on some pretty bad monsters there in his Skull Island film there, and I liked it. It was fun. There was humor. It was silly as heck. Way better though than the Peter Jackson film from 2005.
It was. The Peter Jackson one was slow and pondering.
Yes, and it tried to just be a remake of the 33 film.
Yeah,
it didn't work.
No.
Yeah, I know. I went and saw it in the theaters, and then I later bought the film on DVD for some reason. But I've never gone back and watched it because it's not good.
Yeah.
So.
All right.
So anyway, Michonne is going to be in Godzilla vs. Kong and possibly Star Trek 4, which is very cool news.
So since they're bringing the Hemsworth back, which one was it? Chris or the other one?
Chris. Yeah. Thor is going to be.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't remember which Hemsworth it was. Anyways, so. Do you think it's going to be a time travel episode?
It's got to be. Unless when he was smashing the ship into the Narada, there was some kind of somebody who transported him out at the last second and he's been living his life somewhere else. I don't know. Or maybe because the Narada had been from the future and it crashed and the explosion and the neutrinos and stuff maybe threw him clear. I don't know how they're going to do it.
Because the two options are flashbacks.
Mm-hmm. But he's like 10 years older now. Although I guess it doesn't really matter because movie making magic, right?
Yeah, and we also didn't see him for that much.
Yeah, for like 5 minutes.
Yeah. So, and he doesn't look that much older than he did then.
He's way more built though because of his Thor role.
He's built, but he's uniform.
Yeah, put a uniform on and yeah.
It's hard to tell.
Hide him behind some bulkheads or whatever.
But yeah, so it's either going to be time travel or flashbacks, or some crazy plot to get him to the present day.
Kind of hard to say.
I'm hoping time travel.
I love time travel. It's my favorite.
You know, if they go back in time, Hemsworth is there, and they fix the problem that happened in the first place, restoring the original timeline, closing the loop of this series, fixing the entire problem, making the Kelvin-verse a little bubble of time, that would actually make it better because it doesn't try to negate the rest of Star Trek.
Okay.
So it just...
Boop. But I don't think they can because the Kelvin-verse is owned by not the regular timeline people. Because remember when Paramount Viacom split and CBS got part of it and Paramount got the other, and so they can't ever commingle, I guess, is what the thing is.
No, but if they're doing okay but not great, better to close off the series, make the fans happy, and come back to it later.
Well, yeah, and there's lots they can do. And then if Tarantino does his film that they're still talking about, and then all the TV series that Kurtzman is supposed to be doing, There's going to be a lot of Trek. We might be living in the second golden age of Trek like we did in the 90s. But who could say what's going to happen, right? It's difficult to know. But speaking of Star Trek, you like toys?
I like toys.
Well, I came across this article the other day. Actually, Mike from the ESO Podcast Network, which we'll play a trailer for right here.
Did you know the ESO Network has a brand new Patreon? That's right, we're asking for your help, and you could do it for as little as $1 a month. Don't fret, all your favorite shows will still be available for free as always, but you can get exclusive podcasts and more not heard anywhere else but on our Patreon. To sign up for the ESO Network, Patreon's easy. All you have to do is go to esopodcast.com and click on the link. With your support of the ESO Network, it's you who will reap the rewards.
Great trailer for the ESO Podcast Network, esopodcast.com. So anyway, Mike shared a link, and I stole it and put it on our Facebook page. And it says, Classic Star Trek toy company Mego returns in 2018. It's a name not associated with Star Trek for decades, but when you think of the Trek merchandise of the 70s and 80s, Mego Toys was the name for all sorts of playtime fun, from the iconic original series action figures to their battery-powered communicator walkie-talkies and cassette tape tricorders. If they brought cassette tape tricorders back, how awesome would that be? Nobody would buy it, but it would be super cool. Mego Toys' time with the franchise was so notable for the era, they served as the centerpiece for May's Star Trek special episode of The Toys That Made Us on Netflix. But while Mego went out of business in 1983, today they've returned to life and they're bringing Star Trek figures back too. Announced by Mego Toys and Target, the exclusive home of these Trek Revival products beginning July 29th, the classically designed products will debut at San Diego Comic-Con before moving to retail stores across the United States with 3 waves of releases between July and November of this year. And here is the full press release on the announcement. Came out July 11th. Mego Corporation is proud to announce the return of the groundbreaking action figure toy line. Marty Abrams presents Mego, which will be available exclusively at Target this August. I wish we had a Target still. The first wave will include characters from hit properties like Star Trek, DC, and I Dream of Jeannie. Each will have a unique serial number and be produced to a limited run of 10,000. This has been 30 years in the making, and I'm excited to give my loyal fans and their kids something new and amazing to play with, said Martin Abrams, co-founder and CEO of Mego Corporation. We wanted to recreate a line that provides that nostalgic feeling of seeing a display of action figures they had as a child and to share that with their own children. Marty Abrams presents Mego will be revealing the new line at San Diego Comic-Con, booth 830, July 19th to the 22nd. Comic-Con guests will have a unique opportunity to purchase a limited number of the new action figures before they launch at Target. All items will be signed by Marty Abrams and a special celebrity guest. So that's the media release. And
so it's the classic toys.
It's the classic toys, the 8-inch cloth figures. It looks like they're re-releasing them.
That's cool.
Target's corporate news site revealed some more information on what to expect when the new toys return to stores at the end of the month, including a small look at the first addition to the Star Trek line, an 8-inch Lieutenant Sulu figure styled after George Takei's classic character. While Diamond Select actually issued a high-priced Mego-style Sulu figure in their Retro Figures lineup, Sulu and Chekhov didn't actually make the cut for the original 1970s Mego product line. The packaging preview also includes a hint towards additional Trek releases, showcasing both the Gorn from Arena and Mark Leonard's Romulan commander from Balance and Terror, but the company hasn't officially confirmed the future Trek releases yet. So, here's a picture that you can see on our Facebook page of Sulu, and it looks exactly like their line from the 70s and 80s.
Yep.
So super cool cloth, the silly blue phasers communicator tricorder. It says each release will be limited to 10,000 pieces and expects to retail at around $14.99.
That's not a bad price.
That is a great price. Really fantastic, actually. $15?
Who do we know that lives near Target?
I don't know.
How many of them will be shipped to Canada? That's the question.
Well, it's just in the U.S., so we'll have to go to bigbadtoystore.com or whatever.
Do we know anybody in the States that lives near Target?
Well, Rick Moyer lives in Aberdeen, Washington area.
All right, our American listeners, contact Sean with the contact stuff at the end of the show.
Yeah, because we want to buy some of these things. I really want them. I have some of the Diamond Select ones that they released about 7, 8, 10 years ago. But this is the new line, and it's exciting. I like toys, and even though I'm downsizing my collection, I never had all the original Mego toys. I do have a Kirk and Spock.
Yeah, you need at least Sulu.
Right?
Right?
I know I have the Borg, and I think I might have the Mugatu and the Romulan. I've got like 4 or 5 of them, but I can't really remember.
So, like, in popularity of characters, everybody goes Kirk, Spock, Bones.
Yeah.
Scotty, then Sulu. Sulu got a lot of good airtime. He had a lot of good roles in the show. Chekhov, not so much. They made him the naive young guy.
Yeah.
Right?
Uhura gets more love than Chekhov.
Uhura gets more love than Chekhov, yeah.
And arguably Sulu, but they might be on point.
Yeah, they're both iconic roles.
Oh, definitely.
And, like, it wasn't that long ago that the States were at war with Japan.
True.
And here's a Japanese guy right front and center.
Yes.
So, like, yeah, and they didn't Eastern him up for the role.
No, they were very respectful of the character.
Yeah.
So,
and like the one thing where he's carrying swords,
he was drunk off his ass because of the Psi 2000 virus.
Yeah. And what did he use? A fencing sword.
A fencing sword.
He was a swashbuckler.
And in the episode Shore Leave, he was all fascinated with a gun, which is not traditionally a Japanese weapon.
Yeah.
So they really did good for his character. Very progressive for the 60s.
Yep.
We approve.
Yep.
All right. So that's good. Toys. Toys are coming.
Hey, this is Dr. Trek, Larry Nemechek, and you're listening to The Rusted Robot with Sean and Josh and the Rust.
Apparently, the McFarlane, Kirk, and Picard toys have been pushed back, I think, till the fall now. Those were supposed to be coming, and now they're delayed.
I hadn't heard too much about them.
Yeah, they're not really advertising too much. They had to cancel the pre-orders for the phaser replica from Discovery because
not enough interest.
Either that or rules with fake guns and stuff. There was some kind of something.
It's not a gun; it's a phaser.
Yeah,
it's an energy emitter.
Right, but
ipso facto, it is not a firearm. It does not fire projectiles.
Well,
it's a really awkward flashlight.
Well, we know this, but apparently there's rules with guns, which
is not a gun.
I know, we know that, but the government has other ideas. So there's that. So yeah, I really was looking forward to my McFarlane Kirk figure because it comes with the phaser rifle from Where No Man Has Gone Before, which you only see in that episode, which is super awesome.
We'll agree to disagree on that one.
It's silly looking.
It is the most awkward looking weapon they have.
Yeah, but I've always wanted a replica of it.
Like, of all the Star Trek weapons, including the Ferengi energy whip.
Oh, that was awesome. Yeah.
It is the stupidest looking weapon.
True.
But they've never made a good looking energy rifle until
the phaser rifles in the later series.
The particle beam rifles, yeah.
Yeah.
Not the phaser rifles, the particle beam rifles.
Which is what?
That's the sleeker ones that they used in
First Contact.
First Contact and
yeah, because the
Voyager.
The phaser rifles from the Next Generation series were too square, but then they
were a pistol with a really long handle with handles coming off of it.
Yeah, so that wasn't great. But when they made it more sleek and aerodynamic, that was awesome.
Yeah, but even then, it looks bulky.
It does.
And you really can't get a good shoulder hold on it.
Also true. And yet, I would love to have a collectibles room with all kinds of fantasy weapons on it. That would be great. Maybe one day. Until then...
You get a collector's room.
Yes. I need a collector's room. And a podcast office.
Yeah.
And I don't know what else. Other stuff. I like things and stuff. I need to downsize, though.
No, you don't. You need to keep your stuff.
I need to keep my stuff?
You need to keep your stuff and get a collector's room.
Maybe that's what I should do. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Go get yourself a house with 3 bedrooms.
Yeah.
Make one of the bedrooms a collector's room.
I think I can do that. Yep, you're right. Yes, you've convinced me, Josh. I need to get a 3-bedroom house with a collector's room.
Yep, there you go.
Okay, we've got that all figured out. Have you watched anything cool on Netflix lately?
So, no, not really, because most of my time at home has been work, right?
Mm-hmm.
But At lunch at work, I've been watching anime.
Again, or still?
A lot.
A lot.
Yeah, I've been watching 3 to 4 episodes depending on how long the end sequence and the starting sequence are.
Okay.
Because usually you can get about 15 to 17 minutes out of an episode, at a 22-minute episode.
And your lunch is an hour long?
My lunch is an hour long.
So a good 3 episodes at least?
No, 3 or 4 depending on how things go and how much extra time I take in my lunch.
So what have you been watching?
Right now, this week I finished watching all of the dubbed version of Re:Zero.
Re:Zero.
Yeah.
Is that I've heard of that. Is that in the isekai genre?
That is in the isekai genre.
Oh.
Very good.
Ah, nice.
It's a Groundhog's Day isekai mashup.
So the guy dies over and over again?
He does, and he resets to a certain point. But if he can get past a certain time, he gets a new reset point.
Ah, so he gets to do some progress.
He does get progress.
Okay.
Unlike Groundhog's Day, they don't make death it's a simple thing. This is like it's adding trauma to him every time he dies.
Okay, so it's not just shrug it off. It has a consequence and effect.
It has a consequence and effect, and it's a good one so far.
Okay.
And like he's having trouble distinguishing between days.
Well, I guess so because they all run together, right?
Yeah, particularly because you're interacting with the same group of people over and over and over and over again.
Yes.
Right.
That would be difficult to keep things straight in your mind.
Yeah, and particularly the second set of recaps. It's like 4-day stretches.
Oh, okay.
So he has a lot of time talking to these people, having conversations and deep things, and then he resets. And we talked about this. No, we didn't. Yes, we did. No, we didn't.
Right.
Type level of thinking.
Yeah, because you had to keep your memories, but all the people would not. So.
And because on the third reset, did we have this conversation on the first or second reset, or did we have it on this reset? I don't.
Yeah, that would be confusing. Okay, so you definitely recommend Re:Zero.
I recommend Re:Zero. It's a very good show.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right on. Well, we looked at trailers this week.
We did.
Not much has come out, but there is a trailer for a Netflix movie that comes out July 27th called Extinction with the aforementioned Michael Pena. So why don't we play the trailer for Extinction right here?
Every day, we go about our routines. Work, home, family. Work, home, family.
Another nightmare.
Work, home, family. Work.
Sleeping okay?
I don't understand why you won't get some help.
Because they're gonna say it's in my head.
It is just in your head.
Please wake up.
I think these dreams are the future. What if something bad is coming?
You see that? You kidding? Of course I can.
What is that? You saw?
It's an invasion.
If we stay here, we die.
What's happening out there has been headed our way for a very long time.
I know what's gonna happen. I need you to trust me. You'll be safe.
They're coming.
In your nightmares. Did you see them kill us?
What do you think? It's an end of the world scenario, alien invasion thing.
So, it looks blah.
Right? See, my problem with the thing is I love a good end of the world alien invasion movie, but when it's preceded by unexplained visions of what's going to happen, I hate that part of it. Like that takes the realism out of the thing.
So, like, it's hard to do a movie with foresight in it that is good. Okay?
True. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's very rare.
In fact, the only movie that I can think of that, like, it has to be based on the foresight. That has to be the sci-fi thing.
Mm-hmm.
You can't throw in another sci-fi thing, because that doesn't, like, I think it's what Nick Cage's Knowing.
Right.
Where it's aliens, and that's the reason people can see the future, and ugh.
That was a horrible movie.
Yeah. However, the other Nick Cage movie,
Next,
that's a good premonition film, because it's based on the premonition.
Right.
And to be perfectly honest, I love Next. It's a great movie.
But Extinction,
we'll have to see how much it plays into it.
Yeah.
Does his vision, how accurate are his visions?
Mm-hmm.
Are they just general impressions, or are they event-specific things? Now,
like I know how to get out of this because I saw it in my dream, so I just have to dodge to the left at this particular time.
yeah. So how accurate are his visions?
Yeah.
How determinative are his visions?
And how did he get them? And why?
If it focuses more on that, maybe. Because if you make the visions a focal point, maybe, and the aliens are incidental, they're just a threat, maybe.
Yeah, I think we'll have to. I'm going to watch it anyway, and then.
It doesn't look promising.
No, but we'll see.
Too much at once. It looks like it's going to be a problem of.
Yeah, and it's pretty dark looking too, actually.
Yeah, it is pretty dark.
So that's
a lot of night shots with not well lit.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that.
No.
You know what a very well lit movie was back in the 80s? Did you ever watch the 1987 film ROBOCOP?
I believe I've heard of this film.
It's pretty obscure.
Yeah.
You know, they didn't do any sequels.
Oh, right, that's right. I only just
or...
bought a copy of it on DVD so I could replace my VHS copy that I had for years and years and years and years.
Oh, very cool.
Oh, yes, yeah. That's the one. Yeah.
Well, I've got some exciting news for you then if you like that film. ROBOCOP Returns, a new sequel to be directed by Neil Blomkamp. And it's going to be a direct sequel to the original movie. So it says here, is there anything more frustrating than the ROBOCOP franchise? The first movie is an undisputed classic, and it would be enough for it to be merely one of the greatest action sci-fi movies ever made. Which is true.
Agree so far.
Yep. The fact that it has a thread of sharp and more prescient satire woven through it only makes it better. As a standalone genre film, it can stand shoulder to shoulder with the likes of Alien, The Terminator, and yes, even Star Wars. But unlike those other films, whose respective franchises have some highs beyond their first installment, ROBOCOP does not. We can charitably call ROBOCOP 2 a divisive movie, and even its defenders are unlikely to argue that it bests the original. ROBOCOP 3 happened. So whoever wrote this article was funny. There were some attempts to make ROBOCOP work on TV and live action, with uneven results, and there was a brutally sanitized Saturday morning cartoon. The 2014 remake was better than expected, but ultimately, like the sequels, failed to live up to the legacy of the original. But, like the Frankenstein Christ allegory that he always has been, ROBOCOP will never stay dead. And ROBOCOP co-creator Ed Neumeyer is working on a new sequel. Yes, a sequel, not a reboot, called ROBOCOP Returns, with Neil Blomkamp now signed to direct for MGM. Neumeyer will executive produce with the other original Robo-writer Michael Miner. And here's the best part. ROBOCOP Returns will be based on the script for Neumeyer and Michael Miner's original draft for ROBOCOP 2. That script was turned into early 88, called ROBOCOP The Corporate Wars, and it was even more far out and subversive than the original. It didn't get made, and virtually none of it ended up in the final product. But the catch, it immediately jumps ahead 25 years into Robo's future. It's pretty bonkers, and apparently they're going to write about it in more detail in a later article. And there's a new script based on the old draft, but how exciting is that?
I enjoy RoboCop.
Yes.
I'm tentatively excited about the upcoming film.
Mm-hmm.
sounds like it has potential. Herein lies the problem.
Tell me.
Anytime they've done a reboot to a sequel, it has not worked out well. Anytime they go, ignore everything else, the first one and this one, that's all we have to do. Just ignore all this other stuff we made. That's not real.
Well, apparently that's what they're going to do with the next Terminator. They're going to ignore everything after Terminator 2.
Terminator you can do.
Because of the time dilation jump thing?
Yeah, it's time travel is the primary premise. So you can always go, we went back in time.
Yes.
And because we went back in time, we just deleted this future. That's okay in Terminator. It has an excuse. How are you going to do it in ROBOCOP?
Right. Well, it says here, think of this as the new and somewhat reliable, ignore all the lousy sequels approach to not rebooting a franchise. While Neumeier doesn't explicitly state that RoboCop 2 and 3 will no longer be in continuity, it would be easy to mostly ignore them and tell a story of Detroit 30 years after the events of the original. So they just ignore that stuff. And then it says here, maybe a time jump is just what Alex Murphy needs. Although the odds of getting Peter Weller to suit up again seem exceedingly slim. But imagine, if you will, the Creed of the RoboCop franchise. Actually, that's because Creed is the second best Rocky movie after the original. There's no release date set for this, and they hope things move along quickly. But Neil Blomkamp, he did District 9, which is one of the best movies of the last 10 years. And he was supposed to direct the Alien sequel, or Alien 5, or something. But because of Ridley Scott doing his Prometheus crap there,
Prometheus.
He got knocked off that. But if Blomkamp does this, and I love his stuff, he did Chappie, which was a great film as well.
Yep, Chappie's good. I enjoyed that.
The one with Matt Damon where they're on the space station, that was not as good. Why, I can't remember what it's called right now. Elysium.
Oh, yeah.
It was fine, but it wasn't great.
Yeah, it was a solid.
Yeah, it was okay.
It was a solid meh.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was.
So, like, we had another Returns movie. We had Superman Returns, which was the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Ignore these sequels. It only takes place after here. Right?
Yeah.
And it was meh.
Yeah,
It
wasn't great.
Like, it had a couple good scenes, and you know our problem with that.
Yes, as we often state, good scenes do not make a good movie.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So they worried too much about that, and it was meh.
Mm-hmm.
So they really got to give a solid script to make it worth our while. So I'd like to see that.
Yeah.
And I actually enjoyed RoBoCop 2.
You know what? Kane! Yeah, no, it's fine, but it's not something that I choose to rewatch over and over again.
No, you don't watch.
Like, if I was flipping through the channels and saw that it was on, I may or may not stop to watch it. Much like last night, I was flipping through the channels and Shawshank Redemption was on. It was already half over, but I sat there and watched the rest of it.
Oh, no, that's not a movie I'd watch again, period.
Shawshank?
Oh, yeah, no.
Oh, really?
No.
Oh, see, it's in my top 10. Not my top 10 genre movies, but it's fantastic.
No. It is not something I watched it once because I was dating a girl and she really wanted to watch it, so we watched it.
Okay. But you didn't care for it?
No.
Wow. All right.
It did not draw my attention.
Huh. Maybe you weren't in the right frame of mind.
Maybe, but didn't draw my attention.
Okay, well, that's fair. But yeah, RoboCop, I don't know how many times I've seen that film.
Oh.
Countless.
Well, there's a period I watched it at least once every 3 months.
Is that right?
Oh, yeah.
Wow, okay.
I had a large stack of VHS tapes, but I couldn't get cable to my room when I was living at home because my parents wouldn't put a splitter in and run a line to my room.
How rude.
Yeah. So I just had a cycle of the VHS tapes that I would watch.
Okay.
I just come home, put one in, do whatever I'm doing in my room. Yeah, that's over. Take it out, put a new one in.
Well, that makes sense. You needed background noise.
Yeah.
Right on.
And I ran through all of them. So at least once every 3 months, I watched RoboCop.
Okay. I don't blame you.
Because, boobs.
Yes, there are. It's got everything. It's got...
this was when I was 13, 14.
Yeah. Came out in 87. You were born in 1981?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, So sequels sometimes are hit or miss. Did you ever watch Zombieland?
I did.
Well,
I really enjoyed Zombieland, actually.
I've got an article here from the Hollywood Reporter. It says Zombieland sequel is a go with Emma Stone, Woody Harrelson, Jesse Eisenberg, and Abigail Breslin. So all 4 are returning.
Cool.
After fits and starts, Sony Pictures has reunited the cast of the 2009 surprise hit for Zombieland 2, to be directed by Ruben Fleischer, who helmed the original. So that's all good news.
So, question.
Yeah.
How are they going to explain the 9-year time jump for the little girl?
I don't know. Let's read the article, because I haven't read it yet. It may have taken almost 10 years, but Zombieland is ready to open its doors again. Ruben Fleischer, who helmed the original and is behind the studio's Spider-Man-centric fall tentpole Venom, is returning to the director's chair. Original Zombieland writers Paul Wernick and Rhett Reese, who have in the intervening years found success as the writers of the relevant and successful Deadpool franchise, are also back, having penned the script for the sequel. While rumors of the sequel have risen from the dead several times over the years, this time Sony really means it. The film is set to begin production in January and will be released in October 2019, in time for the 10th anniversary of the original. So, the original movie grossed only $75 million domestically, racked up a worldwide total of $102 million. But not only did it win over critics, it also became a cult hit in its post-theatrical life and gained a strong following while also acting as a major launching pad for all involved. It helped that the budget of the movie was just $24 million.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, giving us the box office doesn't tell us much until you tell us how much the movie made. It's the cost.
Yeah, exactly.
Then we can go, well, what's its percentage on its make?
A lot.
So you double its budget,
Mhm.
right? That's your advertising budget.
Yeah.
Generally double the budget.
Yeah.
So $48 million, and it took in how much internationally?
102 altogether.
So it doubled its money.
Yeah.
So that's a phenomenal success.
Mhm.
If I were going to give you $1 for every dollar, or $2 for every dollar in your pocket, you'd be very happy, wouldn't you?
Yes, totally.
Well, there you go.
So the new movie will once again put the focus on comic mayhem, taking the quartet from the White House to the American heartland as they face off against new kinds of zombies that have evolved since the first movie, as well as some new human survivors. But most of all, according to the studio, they have to face the growing pains of their snarky makeshift family. So that's exciting.
So it's going to be difficult because, like, if there were all adult characters when we started, we wouldn't notice that much of a change, right? We can say, these 10 years of aging are actually only 2 years in this harsh new world. But we had I think she was a preteen when they shot that film?
Something like that. But I think they're just going to say that they've been together for the last 10 years doing stuff. And I don't know why your door just opened with no reason. Do you have zombies or ghosts in here?
No zombies. I make sure of that.
Okay.
I don't have a problem with ghosts. They can stay around.
And none of your windows are open, so I don't know why the door slid open like that. But very cool. So, yeah. So that'll just be, they've been together for 10 years doing stuff, and things have evolved, and that explains the age difference, because it just takes place 10 years later.
But it's hard to create a story 10 years after an apocalypse that is compelling or recognizable. Because, like, what have they been eating? What have they been doing?
Crashing into supermarkets and eating canned food? I don't know.
Canned food goes bad eventually.
Yeah, but maybe they'll just ignore that part, as you have to. I don't know. But we'll see. Hey, did you, speaking of second movies in a franchise, did you watch Deadpool 2?
I did.
Did you like it?
I did.
I've got some exciting news for you.
I think we gave it pretty high scores.
I think we did. Deadpool 2 is headed for a super duper cut, extended home release that's likely packed with more profanity.
Cool.
You buy DVDs sometimes?
I buy DVDs of shows that are on my rewatch list. I rewatched the original Deadpool several times since it's come out.
Yes, me too. So, let's see.
To the point where Katie hates that song.
Oh, right, yes. The one I can't play because I'll get banned from YouTube.
Yes.
Right, okay. Eyebrows were undoubtedly raised upon the recent news that Deadpool 2, released in theaters May 18th, was still bound for Hall H at San Diego Comic-Con on Saturday, July 21st. However, the 2-month-old film won't use its time to reminisce on the laughs, since the occasion will see 20th Century Fox hold a panel attended by Deadpool and pals, culminating with 10 p.m. premiere screening of an extended version of Deadpool 2 in the super duper cut. So it's actually confirmed for a digital release on August 7th, followed by a physical release, which includes the theatrical cut on Blu-ray and 4K Ultra HD on August 21st, which is only 3 months after the film hit theaters, where it has a current tally of about 727 million worldwide. So there's not too much details on it, just that it's going to have all kinds of extra stuff in it, and it's going to be longer. And how is that a bad thing?
Exactly. Well, how much longer?
It doesn't say. The article is very unreal, but the full list of special features include a gag reel, Deadpool's Fun Sack 2, 28 still images, audio commentary by Ryan Reynolds, David Leitch, Rhett Reese, and Paul Warnick on the theatrical version only. We'll have deleted and extended scenes, and we'll have alternate takes called Until Your Face Hurts. So, oh, there's more. It keeps going. Deadpool's lips are sealed, secrets and Easter eggs, and the most important X-Force member. Oh, it keeps going beyond this. There's lots of extra features. We've got Deadpool Family Values, the cast of characters. We've got David Leitch, not Lynch, directing Deadpool 2. Roll with the Punches, action and stunts. The Deadpool Prison Experiment. Chess with Omega Red. Swole and Sexy. We've got a 3-minute dialogue. And that's apparently all of it for the special features. But
that's just special features. There's also the extended cut.
The extended cut.
Okay. So it sounds like it's a worth to buy.
I think so. Yes. So just a month away, really. Month and a half.
Yeah.
August something.
That's a good turnaround.
I'd say. Because May, June, July. Oh, yeah, that's 3 months. So, wow.
Yeah. I'm probably going to get it.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get it for Katie for her wedding anniversary.
There you go. Because your wedding anniversary is August 18, am I right?
Correct.
Oh, very good. And your birthday is August 5th?
Correct.
And mine's September 3rd.
Yep.
So we have a big couple of months coming up.
Yep.
It's very exciting. And that's pretty much it for the podcast. I have spoken to my good buddy James, a fellow podcaster over in the UK.
Mm-hmm.
He's co-host on the Battle Bridge podcast,
mm-hmm.
which I have co-hosted on several times. He recently bought a Tesla. And I've asked him to send me an audio clip talking about it, how great it is, the features, all that kind of stuff. So if he does send it before I edit this tomorrow, I'll play it here. If not, it'll probably be next week or whatever.
Okay.
But I just wanted to give James a special shout out because he's awesome. And one of these days I have to get over to the UK and meet these people in real life, including Daniel Hitch.
Hello, I'm Daniel Peter Hitch, author of the Connected Worlds Chronicles and the Bubbles the Pirate children's book series. You're listening to the Rusted Robot Podcast. Think about it.
And Paul Wright. So you want to come? You want to go fly to the UK and visit some people?
Sure.
All right, sounds good.
We can go see Katie's great aunt.
Okay.
All right.
All right. So, any final thoughts or observations that you'd like to report to our wonderful listeners?
Not really.
No, that's it?
Yeah,
You're all topped up?
I think I'm covered on all that.
Okay.
I don't have the hypothetical this week.
That's okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I am just going to tell everybody to go watch Con Air because it's Con Air Day. I'm going to go do that now. Tomorrow morning, I'll edit the podcast and release it, which will actually be Sunday. So until then, fine listeners, we appreciate your downloads, your reviews of the podcast, telling your friends about us perhaps, sharing the links, and all that good stuff. So until next week, remember, all you need is someone who sees how weird you are and likes you anyway. This has been another episode of the Rusted Robot Podcast. You can contact us by emailing therustedrobot@gmail.com or tweeting us at therustedrobot. Visit our website at therustedrobot.podbean.com. And, if you would, please check us out and like us on Facebook. A 5-star review in iTunes is appreciated. The Rusted Robot Podcast was written, produced, scored, edited, engineered, and directed by Sean Vanderloo. Your co-host was Josh Montney. Don't forget to visit Jump City Comics in the 101 Mall and listen to our other show, the Soulforge Podcast. Visit Sean on Twitter and Instagram at Darth Vaderloo.
The Rusted Robot Podcast. Think about it.
This trailer is rated R for RoboCop, because that's how you make a fucking RoboCop movie. It's been more than 20 years since RoboCop appeared on the big screen, and now he's back with a flip-up visor, different origin, a human hand, and a PG-13 rating. Screw that. Instead, revisit the original masterpiece that is RoboCop. Journey to a futuristic Detroit that's become a bankrupt, crime-ridden hellhole. Basically present-day Detroit. It's a city crying out for a savior, and they'll get one in RoboCop. a blatant Jesus metaphor who's killed, gets resurrected, and walks on water. But instead of dying for our sins, this Jesus shoots rapists in the dick. Meet his gum-chewing partner, Lewis, a terrible cop who never waits for backup, runs like a girl, and can't resist male nudity.
Mind if I zip this up?
Balls. Together, they'll take down old Detroit's biggest bad guys. Clarence Boddicker, a drug lord who's got a real way with the ladies.
Maybe you could, fit me in.
Omni Consumer Products, an evil corporation that does everything except make consumer products. Ed 209, a heavily armed killing machine who loses to a flight of stairs. And Glass. Robo suit up for the ultimate awesome 80s movie, full of big hair, cocaine, goons, Cold War paranoia, and a no-nonsense black police captain.
Now get out of my police station and take Laughing Boy with you!
So return to a time when action movies were made for adults, but marketed to children.
RoboCop and Evil ED-260 face off with rapid repeat cap firing.
Featuring some of film's best one-liners.
Better alive, you're coming with me. Your move, creep.
I'd buy that for $1. Bitches leave.
And the most blood squibs ever. I guarantee you won't see that in the remake. Starring Daft Punk, Bruce Jenner, tough lady cop, old 80s businessman, even older 80s businessman, Jordan Belfort, that 70s drug lord, Fox News, and Lindsay Lohan. RoboCop. RoboCop is the last movie that needs a freaking remake. What are they gonna do next? Die Hard? Oh no, I've said too much.
This has been a broadcast of the ESO Network. Be part of the crew and help support our shows by donating to our ESO Patreon or by shopping through Amazon.com or the TeePublic store, which can all be found at www.esonetwork.com. The ESO Network, your station for all things geek.